We are going live, whether we are ready or not. Good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Let's see, what time is it? Yeah, it's still, is Hawaii time, Pacific time? I think so. Welcome, everybody. It's so good to see you. So good to see you. I'm back for another Thursday live broadcast. I'm Brenda Schwader. I always have to think about which way to. And I'm coming to you live from Sahuarita Casita. I'm live and broadcasting from Sahuarita. Sahuarita is in southeast Arizona. For those of you who don't know, we're just south, about a half an hour from Tucson, just above the retiree community of Green Valley. Good to see you. Good to see you. Let me see if I can do, I'm going to do, well, I guess I can just start setting this up now, yeah, and then we can just switch in a little bit. Hoping to get some comments as we come along here. Today we're going to be going live with a tutorial. This is the second tutorial that I'm doing of such. Hi, Stephanie. Hey, Trudy. Good to see you here. Everyone's got names so far. So this is going to be the beaded version of this Schiaparelli. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. Brooch. This that I'm wearing is the metal version. This is now that's a hammer textured kind of repousee-like version. Each has its own olive branch, which we'll be going over there. Hi, Kathy Gillenwater. I'm laughing because the other day, what was it, Kathy, about a week ago, 2 weeks ago, I came across this old Facebook post, and I hadn't remembered reading it before, but you know what? I probably had. Things just go in and out like a sieve. And so I called her and like, hey. And she was unawares, poor Kathy. I hope you're feeling better, my love. I hope you are doing well. You know, I love your face and all that is attached to it. And hello to everybody else here too. So if you're hiding out there, do say hello. If you aren't familiar with going live with StreamYard, if you kind of like go to my little description here and scroll down, there is a link for you to register so that I can see who you are instead of Facebook user. That would be nice to see someone other than Facebook user, because I like you, not your generic whatever Facebook thing. So anyway, so lots and lots and lots. This has been a week. I'm scrambling. I'm behind. I am just trying to catch up. I've got family in town, so that is so super duper cool. But as usual, I'm not somebody that can work ahead to be able to do that very well. It both makes my family crazy and makes me crazy, but I just spend as much time with them as I possibly can. And after this, we're going simming. So that'll be good. Oh, Tristan is coming. Oh my gosh, it's close. It's close. So now that I see the date, I'm going to say that we are not going to be doing any April Fool's jokes. I read the Seth Godin blog this morning, and he said, in this world we're living in, basically, it's all an April Fool. So April Fool's jokes are kind of bad. Oh, I just saw Chippy. He wanted to maybe come in and see us, but he ran away. So when I talk about a big week, we had some sad news. We lost our old girl, our kitty, Miss Mara May. You guys might, if you're friends with me on Facebook, my profile page, you know, our gray striped tabby. She's been with us. We think we got her when she was 2. That's what they said. I don't know if they always say 2 or whatever. That's sort of what we think about humane societies and stuff. But we got her, and she always just lived her life to the fullest. She always brought us food. And when she could, she enjoyed being outside. I think it killed her in the winter not to be able to go outside. So when we moved here, we often would just let her go out in the courtyard because she was able to be outside and enjoy all that was outside with not being endangered by coyotes and javelina and snakes and such, whatever. Oh, thanks, Bev. So we did, she kept hanging on, and we really wanted her to be able to pass naturally at home, but she just didn't know how to do that. Yeah. So that was a sad part. But pull it together. But my family's in town now, and we're together here, so we're gonna do some cool stuff. Anyway, Bev, I have a question for you, and which brings me to my next thing that I want to talk about without crying. And this is all about our Beads of Courage online auction that so many of you have contributed to. For all of your pieces, I have half of a spreadsheet just to make one more column of proofs to, edits to, and then it's off to the races. And Bev, I've been thinking about you because I think you told me at one point the name that you want is Beverly King instead of Bev C. King, how I see it on Facebook. So just let me know about that in comments, and then we will go with whatever you say. That was one of the little, there's always so many little things. And also, you guys, if you contributed something and maybe didn't, because I didn't think about this at the time, if you would like to provide a URL or your Instagram page or your Facebook page, the least I can do is try to get that into the notes along with your pieces, so that you can get a little bit of promotion for all of your lovely work and your beautiful pieces. We have, I am so proud of us, with 3 different segments, our TV tray segment, the D-stash, and the juice caps. And then other artisan contributions that were just saying, we just want to help, and they weren't in coordination with any of those other sessions. We have 70 submissions. I am so proud. I was with another online auction through Bidding Owl for the Beads of Courage, probably about a year and a half ago, and there were like 7. So I'm like, yeah, we 10 times that, yeah. And so I'm really proud of us. I'm really proud of us, and honestly, the caliber of the work, I couldn't be prouder. I mean, it's just so fabulous. So I thank you. And what I'm going to be doing is hopefully going live. I'm going to try to coordinate that between Jean Gribben. She's the executive director for Beads of Courage, right up the road in Tucson. And then also I want to drag Deb Floros on just so we can talk about that, because she's seen all the pieces, and it's just fun to be able to share what she saw. And we'll kick this off. The dates, hopefully, I'm hoping, are April 5th. You know that I would not be saying this now if it was August, because I have not procrastinated enough. But April 5th through the 12th, we're going to have a week of bidding and trying to get out there. And we want you to broadcast this to friends and family and people as much as we possibly can. Okay, so do help us to do that. And the more that we can raise, my goal is 5,000. It's a really aggressive goal. Not sure what's happening here with the hair. Really aggressive goal. But that's the goal, and I'm putting it out there. So wouldn't that be wonderful? I am so psyched. So, and we've all worked so hard. So, mwah. Okay, what else did I want to say? We'll turn that off. We are always sponsored. This Thursday show, sponsored by John Bead Corporation, right down here. And so a lot of the information that you can get is right here. Free templates at Bead Projects and PDFs. That's a Facebook group from John Bead. So go to that if you want the free stuff. That should be loaded today. I might have been a little late, so it might not be quite there yet. For the now that's jig patterns, please go to BrendaSchwader.etsy.com. And if you can't find something, I'm going to be sharing some links for the beads, the beautiful beads that we're going to be working on today. If you cannot find something, or if you just have a general question for John Bead, then please do email them at info@johnbead.com. So I got another question this week, and it is a little bit confusing. When you go onto the John Bead website, you can see everything that they have, right? It is a wholesale. John Bead is a wholesale distributor, manufacturer, wholesaler out of Toronto, Canada. if you just want something, say, and that's how you can get it from them. So they provide to their stores, or provide to their distributors. That's only fair that they push those sales to them. But we have our direct links to the craft shop that they set up on Amazon. So I'm going to put those up for you so you can get this. There is also a kit today. Speaking of, we'll go back to www.brendaschrader.etsy.com. And so ta-da. Also want to mention that you can join me on Instagram. My handle is @BrendaSchraderJewelry, all one word, no hashtags. I think there's one out there with hashtags. Who knows what I was setting up at the time? Who knows? I can't be responsible for myself. Oh, thank you, everyone. Hello from Boston. I think designed by Phil. That's so nice to see you here. I think this might be the first one. And also, you guys, I don't have Sarah moderating today, so if you're coming on Brenda Schrader, if you're watching me through there, or a Facebook group, I might not be able to see your comments. So, but I'll get back to you later on when I read them later on. Okay. Oh, Bev said, either way. Okay, cool. Nice. Also, wow. Sarah, goals are everything, right? There's my friend. Mwah. So seeing Sarah, I wanted to share with you guys too, before we drop into this tutorial really quick, is that I submitted 3 pieces to the Metal Plus !equals show that was juried by my mentor, one of my mentors, Bob Ebbendorf. And so Bob has said, he was the juror, and I got one of my pieces, and I guess there were over 500 entries, and 200 some artists, and one of my pieces made. And I'm happy because this was nameless, so my work got in without him knowing who I was. So I'm kind of like a big sloppy fangirl with him. So I know I didn't just get it from him feeling sorry for me. How's that? Such artist confidence, right? Yay. All righty. So without further ado, we're only 15 minutes into the show. I'm trying to keep this top part a little bit shorter. But I do want to tell you guys, so next week, did I load that? Let me see if I can go to the brand. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I try to load some things. Yeah. Next week, we're going to start the remainder of April and with our things. Let me see here. Hold on. I got to get rid of this banner. I got challenged, and I said, bring it on. So send me your weirdest, your differentest, your funnest things. Carmi, she's our head of marketing at John Bead, and so she did. So for the next 4, because there's 5, you guys, 5 Thursdays in April. So this is being the first. So the rest of the April shows, we're going to be doing the Bring It On series. And so I got to show you this stuff just so you can see how this goes. Let's see if I can do this without interrupting everything else. This is bead netting. Isn't this crystal bead netting by Preciosa? I am telling you this stuff. What can I make with this? You'll be seeing soon. So it's got some weight to it. You know, I like that crystal. It's like, you ever wear like a sequin dress, or a sequin top? It's got some weight to it because of that. But I just want to show you too, like, this is going to be way cool. It would not make a good mask. Okay, we're not making a mask. Anyway, we're just going to have so much fun. And, maybe what I'll do is also make some of this available to you guys. Who knows what the fun is going to be. Also, I want to apologize to you. I've just been so behind with everything, as I said, that's been happening, family and kitties and stuff like that. And just because my life is so jam-packed as it is. And so I haven't gotten the orders out, any of the kits. So I apologize to you. I'm trying to get them out this weekend, and maybe my family will help me. Don't tell them. I'm going to spring it on them. All right. How about we get down to some business here? I think. Oh, also just a quickie, you guys. Don't miss the Great Bead Extravaganza coming up. The Midsummer Market, you guys, is going to be on June. Preview night's the 11th, and the show dates are the 12th and 13th. And I am telling you, it's going to be a lot of fun. So today's show, this project is in response to a survey I did for you guys, and only 9% said no, don't do a version of the Dove of Peace wire brooch that Lady Gaga wore, but 91% said yes. So who knows? Who knows why the no? But so I did too, because 91% is pretty high. All righty. So let me see here. So as I usually tell you, this is just some stuff I have to go over. What I do now, since we're sponsored by John Bead, and the jig, the Now That's a Jig is on sabbatical. What we normally would have done in years past is given you and put this up. This is the Now That's a Jig pattern, and all of the every information you need is right here in order to make that. So if you are a jig person, that is again at www.brendaschwader.etsy.com, and that is available, at on my Etsy site for $3. But if you are here today with me, free on the site, why are there? I thought there were 3 pages, but maybe I just did them twice. Oh no, here they are. Yep, here's 3. These are all the written instructions. In case I missed something, you're like confused by what I'm doing on this video tutorial, we got you covered both ways. Sometimes people are just different learners, visual learners, or they like a pattern. If you're more like my brother Matthew, who is very pragmatic and instruction oriented. So anyway, so all the stuff that you need is right here for ordering. Okay, so I'm going to put that over here, and then we're going to be working off this guy right here, because we're just going to be working as though you don't have a jig, because many of you do not. And you know what? That is cool too. I'm like trying to go through the computer, etc., etc. So let me see if I can go. I'm going to try to put in the comments the links. Here we go. I'm going to do it in 2 different ones, you guys. No, I'm not. I'm going to do it in one. But for the crystals, we're working with Iris Opaque Rondelles, you guys. These things are amazing, amazing, amazing. They give you like this hammered look, this hammered textured metal look with beads. And I thought, let's just do some bead netting today. I don't know if that's a term. I made it up, but here we go. So all of these, but what happened is that there's so many of them because, I have to make things as cool as possible. Well, it's taking a while to load. That's okay. And you guys can see me all right, because I think I might have not done, this is going to be interesting. I think I might not have put my camera, my demo cam on the right, in the right internet feed. So let me know how that's looking. I think it actually looks probably a little better than last week. I was kind of complaining to them about that. So anyway, did it come through? Oops, an error occurred. Wait a moment and then try again. Well, it's been a moment. Let's chat. It sometimes doesn't go through to the groups right away, but then it lets you know. Let's see. Oh, looks like it should have gone through. Yes. Forget it. Don't tell the internet gods that, this might not have worked. Okay. So what I thought today is okay, you fixed yourself. Oh, wait a minute. I'm going to backtrack. So what I was talking about is that these links on here, which looks like they all ran together. Sorry, but anyway, you can kind of see where they start with the http://bit.ly, the bit.ly links in there. I don't know how they're showing up on your side. But what happens is I'm using 5 sizes of these. Aren't they fabulous? Everything from these tiny little, and I did silver just to kind of make this different. For the olive branch here, I used 1.5 by 2.5 millimeter rondelles. Still a rondelle because it's not round, but there they are. And then 4 other sizes right up here. 2 by 3, 3 by 4, 4 by 6, and 6 by 8, something like that. Anyway, those are in there too. But you're going to kind of need like 1 strand a piece. What happens is that these come on cards with 2 strands, so you'll end up getting that, but then you can make 2. The biggest ones here, I only use 1/2 strand, so you could make, say if you were making 4, you would only need 1 strand, something like that. My math is going down on me. Then I grab these dual pin back and pendant thing. I like having a pin back that I can also make into, it has a bail here, which I like the split bail. It gives a little bit more, substance right here to make a pin into a pendant. And then if you want to, like, say if this was a necklace, but you wanted it to stay here, you could actually pin it to your top, and then you are double secure. All right. So hi, Marilee. So nice to see you. Welcome. So, so I thought what we would do is I've got some beads here. Obviously, we can't do this whole thing in a little over an hour, which is kind of what I try to keep to. But I thought what we would do is I would show you like this upper wing right here, and then I will point you to, after the show, I'll point you to the last tutorial I did for this one, which is where we actually did the olive branch. And then we'll swing back, and on this one, which I haven't done, the original one, I will show you how to put the pin back on. Alrighty, ready, set? Let's go. Okay, so what you're going to need is 3 different kinds of wire. I forgot to go get the steel. You know what? Let me entertain you. Let me go get that. What did I make the one? Yes, I did make the one I'm wearing, Sarah, with my Now That's a Hammers, with the number 3. And this is a metal one, so I'm studying to be a metalsmith. Yes, I did. So 2 different versions. I wonder if I have a picture of that one. It would be nice for you to see. It would be nice for everyone to see this close up. So I think I do. Here we go. This is the metal one close up. Thanks, Sarah, for talking. And this one we did on the Great Bead Extravaganza live Facebook show. That was the Spring Fling, and that one was March 21st. Can you believe it's April yet? I'm telling you. Okay. I'm going to go get that steel. Sorry about that. I'm going to go get it. Generally, I don't work with steel. But I also wanted to show you ahead of time. See, this pattern has all the placements of all the different size of beads. And then here's a code here. Miss Sarah Hannes, who is my partner in all of this, and she does all the graphics. It's just amazing. And so she did this for us. So I'm going to go get some 18 gauge wire. Hold on, I'll be right back. Look at that. It was just on the other side of this big old table that I used to broadcast live to you. So we are going to do this. So what I've kind of done is just to give you a lay of the land, is that you build the out. Maybe let's go down. Let's go down here to this mode. And I'm going to show you just like, so you can see. That's why it's black here. This is steel wire, and what I've done is that you basically make a frame, okay? Then we're going to bead all the border beads. Well, we're not going to today, but this is how you would do it. I'm just going to start here to show you how you would do a border bead. We're going to put those on with this 18 gauge aluminum wire, and then I want to show you with some glad tone brass. Glad tone. 26 gauge. how you then go ahead and each one of these kind of comes down and goes back up. You can kind of see that. You know, they're kind of like tooth-like, I call them, but I call them drops, like a drop stitch. And then we're going to work into those to fill everything in. Now, this this here is what worked for me. You know, you might have a different, it should be fairly close, but if you've got a hole or you don't think you can fit another bead in there, some of my beads are kind of like, you know, ripply. They may not, if you laid it flat, they wouldn't all fit. This is the way I work. So go ahead and, as I say, you do you, okay? So, and then I've got some of these cups set up here with some, and you know what? Because I'm so cheap, I'll probably just use what's in here and I won't follow the diagram because I'm not a diagram follower myself. And you wouldn't want to see me stumble all around not following a diagram. The diagram is for you. All righty. So let's go ahead and put this up here and we're just going to go. And as usual, so we've got our thing. These are just to show you what placement that we're kind of working around. This is the pot. This is the, you know, the non-jig one. Here is our diagram here. Here's what we're making. All kinds of different ideas here for, you know, the categories of that we would use it for. Here's our, you know, our key, and here are all of our measurements down here for what we would use. So I'm going to start out with 18 inches of 18 gauge dark annealed steel wire. I'm just realizing I took all of this off of my website. If you don't know where to find dark annealed steel wire, just give me a chat, a buzz, a message somewhere, and I can get you some. You can put it back up on Etsy. All right. Annie from Designed It said, hello, I have a catalog from John B. Wow, from 20 years ago. I was sewing back then. I am designing jewelry now. Isn't that great how we kind of all do full circle? I grew up, Annie, as a 4-H kid with my mom. She was our leader with our troop of me, my sister Joanne, and my sister Jacqueline. And I think maybe my cousin Leela was in there too. It was a small town. Anyway, we won all kinds of awards because my mom is a great seamstress. And she made us do it right. So anyway, so here I am doing jewelry now too. It was never really much of a, I mean, I did some work for, you know, I did like, well, I went to fashion school, but I've quickly figured out I really was more into fashion than into making fashion. All right, so what I'm doing, I'm looking around because I'm worried about this wire having so many kinks in it right now. So let me see here, because once you get to the bottom of this coil, you really have, I'm just kind of looking to see if there's anything I can wrap it around. Let's wrap it around. When in doubt, let's use the Starbucks cup. Okay. And so we'll go back up here. When I'm working on the jig, I don't usually worry about this too much, but since we have some really kind of interesting things, I'm just using this to press it against just to even kind of straighten it out a little bit. And you know what else? Duh, I have a wire straightener here too. Can you tell my brain is like not really where it should be? So let's see here. I don't want to use that straightener. I want to use this one. So I will tell you, when you use a straightener with steel wire, it's going to get beat up pretty darn quick. And as this is probably, this project using the steel wire is probably like the toughest wire down to the aluminum, the softest wire that you might ever, well, I mean, maybe gold, but just want to kind of get it straightened first because we've got a lot of detail is what I was trying to say. Okay, not too bad. You can see, can you see it's like snowing in here because I'm really using up a lot of that plastic inside. it gets beat up. And you can, you know, replace those jaws if, for those of you who are familiar with the, but actually I'd probably just buy another plier. Just me. All right, so we've got about, well, we've got over 18 inches here. But let's go back down to here, and I want to show you. See, what I've done is I've just got a little bit of an opening here. Now, if you are a metalsmith and you want to, or you want to connect it with like a large bead-along crimp, something like that, you can go ahead and do it. But honestly, I just beaded right over it. And if you look close, there you can see I'm sticking my fingernail right in it. See that? It's still there, and it's fine. Nothing's gonna fall out of there. I've got some tight things right here, some tight wraps. It's fine. You know, just depends. Okay, so Anne Mergel says, does the frame shape come in the kit made? Yes. And as a matter of fact, what I'm doing with the kit is that Sarah is already making you up one of these, and we're going to give you some steel wire if you want to try it yourself too, because I know a lot of you, this is kind of a big project. And Anne also said, or no, Annie says, I have the jig I haven't used very much. Do you have, now that's a jig, or do you have, Annie, the one of the other models? That's interesting to know. Cool. All right, so, okay, let's get cracking here. You guys, it is 90 degrees here today, just so you know. Just thought I would let you know that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start following this. I'm going to pick my best end, and I'm just going to kind of keep going up here. I'm going to, actually, I'm going to go over just because I want to. And I'm just holding this down, and I'm following it and shaping it as I go. If you have the jig, you won't need to do this, but as I said, let me see if I can stay on. We're going to need quite a whoop, a little fly. Thank you for having that in. There we go. Oh, my camera kind of went. Goodbye, fly. So, and I can make this a lot more acute, that angle there, if I want. And I think what I'm going to do too, just to the essence of time, because I don't need to go around this whole thing for you guys, is I'm just going to kind of go up, and I'm going to go up the head a little bit, just so you can kind of see what I'm doing. So that little fly, he just wants to be in our business here. So as I'm doing that, I'm flailing around with this long piece of wire. Let's cut it so we're not like poking our own eyes out. Right? It's 28 in Pennsylvania today. Oh my gosh. Oh, and Sarah says, amazing, the 2 doves, metal one and the beaded one. Love it. Oh, you're so sweet to me. You believe it's the same one you used, bought it from Michael's. I'll check when I'm home. Yeah, it's probably not, my love, because Michael's never carried it, but it looks a little bit like the thingamajig, so that might be the one you have. Yeah. So you probably wouldn't have all of these special pieces here. All right, and I'm just forming this with my fingers, pretty much. Okay, so yes, so Sarah is going to make each one of these for you guys. And to be honest, I'm pretty sure I underpriced the kit, so you want to get them. You want to get it before I figure that out, and I put it the price that I'm actually going to be making money. The financial side of things has never been my forte. I'm telling you here, I took this off camera, sorry, to show you. And so you can kind of see I'm coming around here pretty close, just following this. And you know what? And again, I can make that a little bit more acute, but I can also just kind of bring this down here and just kind of like make that a little bit more of a top thing here. And bring it back down. All right. All right, and let's go back up here. You can see I'm just kind of placing that where I want to bend against. So your chain nose plier makes a really good tool to bend against. And you can get a really nice corner there. You're watching sitting in your car. Oh my goodness. I don't know that I've done that yet to anyone. Okay, this turned out to be a little long, but you know what, you guys, also, there's pretty much you can do to, there we go. That's pretty darn cool. That's pretty darn close. I just wanted to get up because what we're going to be doing is we're going to start here and we're going to fill in this, this wire wing right here. But as we do that now, so this time what I've done before, you guys, is I have used this fabulous little hammer that you can get this. It's by Metal Complex, and the SKU number is on the instructions. But because we're working with steel, and I have steel ready now, that's a hammers. This is my other product that we often don't talk about because it will mutilate aluminum. So we're just going to make a little bit of a wing, and I'm just going to cut this off a little bit more just so I can kind of show you a sample of what we're doing. Janelda's here. Hello, hello, Janelda. Oh, that's Sarah. Have to leave. It's almost 1 a.m. You are, I love you. I love you. Hope to see you soon. Yeah, I wish I did. I don't know if Sarah's still there or not, but Sarah is one of my international jewelry friends, and she's the one that told me, hey, you need to jewelry to try to get into Athens Jewelry Week. And I said, me? And she said, yep. And I got into Athens Jewelry Week. And now I'm in Milano Jewelry Week. All kinds of jewelry weeks. We're going to look at New York Jewelry Week too. All right. So you're working with steel, you guys. You're going to, we're not going to do this here now for the sample, but you basically would clean this with some steel wool or a Scotch-Brite pad, something like that. And then you're going to seal it. Yep, I don't have it here. With some Renaissance wax before you do anything. Okay, so just pretend this is a full dove instead of sort of this top end. And we are, we're just going to keep on going here. Now, the first thing, as I said, we would do is we would cut off like 40 inches of this is the 12 gauge aluminum. No, sorry, 18 gauge. It comes in 2 gauges, the 12 and the 18. And I'm basically, I can't believe she was watching at 1 a.m. She's such a sweetie. I love my Sarah. And so I'm just going to lop off a little bit of this 18 gauge. This is the softest wire. And so generally you wouldn't be able to bind with an 18 gauge. I mean, just look at the difference. These are both 18 gauge. Okay. This one is aluminum. This one is like coat hanger stuff, right? Is steel. So, and I can straighten this one with my fingers. You know, you guys know the deal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start here. And all I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be working with my chain nose. I think I'm probably going to grab this this nylon jaw plier that I use for aluminum only because I don't want it, and it's still getting kind of beat up here. This is probably going to need another thing shortly. But I'm always going to work from the same side because we're just going to go around this edge right here. And I'm going to give myself a little bit of a tail, and I'm going to hold that, but I'm going to go around really, really tightly, 2 tight wraps. And I'm going to smoosh those together. want them to start on the other side of this wing. Okay. All right. Beep. Here we go. And so we've got our first little guy here. This one, I'm just going to leave this here. It helps me have something to work with, you know, something to anchor this. Oh, it just wants to slide up toward the head. Okay, so let's just say too that we have a lot of room here. I think what I would do is I started out with this size bead right here, which is I think like the 4x6 here and here. And I mean, you could use all teeny tiny beads if that's your shtick, right? But you know, I kind of liked using a little bit variation of the 4, just to kind of give it some more interest as well. Oh, you've been watching comments on my phone, but you could not see, and I could not see what others are posting. Now I'm on my computer. It's all better. Oh, yes, I know, Janelda. So that, yeah, that's something I don't like about StreamYard, and I thought that was one of the things that it was going to do really best at. Okay, so with each one, I think I might just use some of these big ones here because you'll be able to see these better and you get the technique as well. So I'm coming down and I'm going to make this tooth shape, right? So it's kind of like dental molding off of this frame. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of eye this up. I want to start building these beads inside of here. And so I know I can kind of see where I need to make that first bend because I want to actually bend this. It'll help me have a nicer look to it since it is kind of big. So I'm basically just sort of bending a step in there, and then I'm going to add this on. Now, if you're working, you can probably imagine if you're working with 40 inches of wire, at first it's a little tedious, just like for those of you who do stitching. So I eyed this up pretty good because I can still get some movement in here. I'm pretty happy with that. And I can either just take this and bend it right against there for a right angle, or I can take and get my chain nose in there if you prefer that. I kind of like to do it right at the corner using the bead because then I have no gaps in here at all. It's not like a swing where I've got some room between. Okay, so then I'm just going to keep coming up and straightening. Look at how nice that 18 gauge goes. It's actually not bad for a binding wire. Okay, and then I went around once, so I kind of went around 1 full time. It's actually, I say in the instructions 2 full times, but I guess it's really more like a 1.5 because you want to end up down again. Okay, so let's repeat that again. We're going to eye this up, and I think about there should be my, now understanding too, part of the reason I'm doing all the variety is I knew that I wasn't going to be able to use, unless it's the smaller side, all one size in there because we've got, you know, we've got some different shapes and we've got some different angles that we need to feed into, etc., etc. And so, and it's just more fun to use more beads, right? I'm so glad, Annie, that you found me. Thank you so much for watching. You guys are so polite. And so I'm just going to go back in here and make another right angle, but understanding now, you know, that I have less room for all these big beads, especially when I'm kind of filling in something where it's not a straight line. I'm getting a little less room in there. So I'm going to bring this other bead back on, see if I did okay. Yep. So, and also you can see like there's kind of a room in there to fill in with a teeny tiny bead if I wanted to. Also, if you use all the bigger ones, you are not you're not going to create enough of these little drops to be able to work and to do the filling in. Just saying. Try to not do what I just did. I'm like not paying attention, and because now by going around, I've actually made a little bit of a mess. You want to keep a flow with your wire instead of kind of like jerking it through, or not even just jerking it, just And so this is another reason why I keep the wire straightener here. It just works up so much prettier. Okay, then I'm keeping that nice and tight as I go along. So let's work our way down into a littler bead now. Let's grab these. I think these are the 3x4s. Some going on the floor. I got these little cups, you guys, and I don't know if you guys have a TJ Maxx by you, but they have, where did I put the little, here they are. You guys got to see this. I thought this was nice for those of you guys who might use a lot of beads, and and I was going from the living room, and so these fit right on top of here. Aren't they cute? So it's Joie brand. Okay. So I'm just going to see where I need to move this. Now, obviously, I need to put my bend in a little bit different place. So I'm kind of eyeing that up, and I'm going to make the bend right here instead. Holding that, and then just making that nice bend. And that's feeding that back in there. And so, I don't know that I would have done those two together had, we weren't on this tutorial, but you can kind of see it's starting to fill in pretty nicely. You know what, let's take this off because I think you might be able to see this a little bit better. There we go. But still doing so you can kind of see why I call these teeth. They're kind of coming down and then going back up and doing that. So, and don't be too worried about little things. So here's what little mistakes. I'm assuming I'm going to kind of try to show you as if this was enclosed, but basically I want to keep this as a big loop and then bring it up and through, and then that will help you not have kink as easily. Okay, holding it down and then making a nice tight thing. Okay, so here we're at the tip. The tip you're going to want to put in the bead that fits in the tip, right? So I think in that tip, I got a C bead in there. C is the 4x6. Huh, really? So it says that I could have put this bead in there, but right now I've done it differently, which you might find too. Like, I didn't make room for a 4x6. Let's go down a bead and let's put this bead on there as well. So I'm sort of feeding through off camera. So you don't see me stumble as much, but why not? We're all friends here. And I know this fits because the others fit too. Why aren't you going on? Well, you know what happens when something doesn't go on. You're going to snip a little bit off and try again. And it might just be the bead. Nope, it went on. Sometimes you have to give yourself a new end. Oops, then I took it back off. All right. Did I mention it's 90 degrees here today? All right, so for this, I'm not going to come down and go back up because I don't have room to do that, right? So all I'm going to do for the tips is I'm going to feed it and I'm going to put it in place there. And also you want to keep things straight so that your bead can feed down in there. There we go. Look at how sweet that seats right in there. And then I'm going to hold that in place. And I don't have room even in that corner to go around directly where I came out of the hole. So I am going to tease it and come back around. Now this time, because I didn't come around, I just went like once and I caught it on the back, and then I'm going around. So I want to end up on the front here like this too. Okay. Now this time I know I need a tiny bead in there, so I'm going to do another one of these tiny ones. This is like the 2x3. And I'm just going to go where I know I'm going to be able to fit that. Let's see if that'll work. The project is not up on Etsy, just the pattern. Ah, okay. So, there should be two. So Sarah's pretty, she is pretty fastidious about this. So take a look again. Sometimes they don't show up in the featured area. If you want to go to, there's now that's a jig patterns, and there's also John bead patterns. So you're going to look for the John bead pattern. I thought maybe they were not available yet on the John bead site. I just finished the text of the tutorial this morning. Okay, can you see what's going on there? So I put another little one right here, and it's adorable. So, and I want to, I probably want to put like a fairly big one on here now. I like making that, especially on this side with that chain nose pliers. And that fits in there really pretty nicely. Pretty darn nicely. Just gonna bend that up. I didn't cut myself here. This is nail polish. I touched up right here. You guys know all my secrets. All right. So yeah, so let's just continue on down here, and then I'll show you how to fill it in. Since we're using such big beads, there's probably not going to be a whole lot to fill in. So let's continue with some of this size here. And just keep going. And Margot, let me know, this is what Anne was saying here. Let me know if you go back in and you see it or not. Otherwise we'll have to. And sometimes, like Sarah said, I'll check it and I'll say, Sarah, you didn't feature it. And she'll say, yeah, I did. So sometimes it just doesn't. You might have to refresh. That's what I'm saying to you. Etsy. Etsy is kind of a goofy little thing sometimes. Now I'm realizing too, like sometimes I came up from above and sometimes from below, but I do like to have that little double, that 1.5 here. Actually, it's sort of like almost a 2, I guess. I mean, you intuitively know what I'm talking about when I say 1 or 2 turns. But basically, you want to end up down. You might be coming from the back. You might be coming from the front. The important thing is that you are coming, down inside the wing. You're beating the inside of the wing. You guys are smart cookies. And it looks like I made kind of a shallow bend there. So I'm going to go and put a smaller bead on, because you know what? I'd rather do that than try to get that bad bend out of there. I have done it. I have done it. Okay. Got that up there, and I'm just making that nice thing. See, I don't even need to kind of coax these with the pliers, because I'm just able to do that with my fingers. I'm glad you moved over, Janelda, because it's frustrating for me not to be able to see. I mean, you guys are watching live, and I'm just like, ugh, I want to be able to talk to you. So I'm like, why isn't anyone saying anything? But people are. They're just on the channel that I can't see. Oops. Okay. So here's what happens if you put your bead on before you've made your right angle. You just kind of shove it down here, and then just make your right angle, and then shove it back. See how it looks so much nicer with that little, it just goes straight in, that right angle there. And it's nice to be actually working the sample that's not enclosed, because I can cheat and I can go around instead of, having to go through. Now this time I do want to kind of do those. So yeah, let's put another huge one on, and then we'll go to the filling part. I just sort of have these mesmerized, and you know what? I was going to say I have them memorized the lengths, but I don't really. I'm just sort of like doing what I want to do. So isn't that, I mean, it's just so, I like having that dark wire on the other outside. And you know what? If you have black aluminum, which they don't have in stock right now, you guys, I'm so sorry, but it's probably the stuff that's easy, or you know, most wanted for other craft things at well, but you could use, you know, other black wire. I just liked really how that just sort of like outlined the whole thing. You know, it's like that, it's like mosaics or stained glass, where it just really sets off the bright colors. Okay, so understanding, like, you would go all the way around to the beginning here. And what I did say in the instructions is that I like this sort of like two loop thing. And so you're going to have another 2-loop thing when you finish here, when you go all the way around, you know, the dove. So you'd start here, go all the way around, da 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 da. So you're working with all these, da 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 da, and you're going to end right here with this big one. Is how I first saw this. So you'll have this. So you might want to back it off to 1.5 on each side. Does that make sense? Instead of having 2, and then just sort of splice it together. If you're a little bit worried about that stuff like that, if you want to have 4, it's really not going to be, you know, be ugly at all anyway. This was me thinking in the morning. So I'm just going to kind of keep these off here to the side, and we've got this gorgeous, gorgeous piece here. Let me see how it looks against the white. You can probably see it a little bit better there. Now I'm going to show you how to go ahead and take, this is where I need, so I use the 18 gauge aluminum to go around the outside, and it's almost sort of an embellishment looking thing too, where I really like that. You could use black aluminum, you know, if you wanted this to sort of match in with the outline. I mean, there's so many things you could do, but you definitely, we're going to need to go to a traditional, what I call a binding wire here with the glad tone. One of my favorite jokes. And I'm just pulling off about, you know, 1 foot to 18 inches, but I would pull off about 40 inches is what I used to start this. Also helps if you put your tongue out when you're cutting. And so here's what I'm going to do. I could go back up here and anchor, which is, I think when I was just figuring this out, I tried to anchor to this, and I was trying to go through beads, and I'm like, why, Brenda, are you again trying to make this more complicated than it needs to be? So why not just go and work within these other areas here? So you can kind of see that I'm going into where I made this first guy here, and I'm just going to anchor off of the drops, the dropped stitches here. Not drop stitches, the drop stitches. We don't want to drop our stitches. Okay. And so I've got a nice anchor here. I'd probably go around that twice. So you guys know that I'm really not very good at small beads. But I just fell in love with these opaque, they're called iris opaque beads. And again, the, you know, the links are up there, up in the feed. So I'm just going to kind of come down here and just start with this knitting. I'm trying to get this down farther, but it's fine where it is. So let's just say here, I can fit in, can I fit in this big? No, this bead's kind of too big. Let's fit in some of these. You know you're going to be working with somewhat smaller ones as we go here. So I'm just grabbing another smaller one. And this is just all, I mean, if you're an intuitive beader, this is kind of, you know, a nice way to to be working here. So you can kind of see here that I'm kind of spanning this. It's because it's gold. You know, people aren't going to be like looking at your work and saying, oh, I can see some wire there. And if they are, we don't want them looking at our stuff anyway. So I'm just keeping this, you know, feeding. I'm trying not to have this get kinked, right? So I just went in all the way across, and I went into the next little drop across. Now you can, you know, depending on, you can just go, it'll be intuitive. Like I said, you can just go wherever you think is your next bead. And so that was kind of a long span. So I probably want to, and you can add more than one bead. You can add, you know, a couple beads as you go. So let's see what we can do if we can add this big bead on here now. I would love to see how you guys work this up, because I just love this project. If you guys do this, please do post to that projects, John Bead Projects Facebook group page, and you know, now that's a jig, post it to anywhere. So this one I'm kind of like forcing it in there, but I don't really mind that because it's also giving it some dimension, and then I know I have less to fill. So, but I'm just going to kind of go through here, and I'm going to kind of go up and through to my next area. It just looks like I should anchor right there. I'm not going to fight that because it looks like that's the place it wants to go. It's the closest one. I'm just trying to keep that going through there. And again, this is such fine wire that I'm just straightening it with my fingers. But I do want to tell you, I would go through these, definitely anchor, because if something happens where something, you know, gets snagged, or one bead is giving you trouble, or something happens where your brooch is like mutilated, if you have more anchors in here as you go, you're going to have less repair work to do. And it's just good jewelry making practice, right? Okay. So now I'm going to come back out here. I anchored to right here, and I'm just like looking like, how can I do this? Let's put another big one here. No, that's too big. Let's put two on and see, because I want you to show you that you can put a couple on too without getting too far ahead. I wouldn't put more than 3. I don't know that I ever put more than 2 actually. So here, and I can bend this. So I kind of want to come here, and I'm going to fill into there. So I filled into that spot, right? And I ended up on the back, so I'm going to come back up through here to anchor this. See how I'm keeping that loop, a full continuous loop there, because I do not want tightening up that slack and kind of making a bend, so I tell it where I want it to go. You guys, I found this coolest little shop. If I ever get my act together and we do like a Instagram IGTV with some of my found object stuff, I found this cutest little place, this shop in town that I thought I knew where it was, but it's a whole different one, so it's even better. So now there's 2 that I want to check out. But I'll show you what I got there. I call it Catholic kitsch. I got some holy water bottles that are shaped like the Virgin Mary. Wait, wrong. I'm not trying to be blasphemous. I just think it's hilarious. And then also, because I was telling the shop owner, I'm like, I love Catholic kitsch. I love it. And so like plastic Virgin Marys, plastic saints, like why not? And he said, you think that's cool? He said, look at these. And he showed me this little case. And there were glow in the dark, a Jesus and a Mary. It was either that or it was Mary and then an African American Mary as well. I think she has dark skin. So I don't make it, I just buy it. All right. So you can see here now that is looking pretty fine, But I see here that I've got myself in a corner. If I want, I can kind of just go up and around, but I kind of don't want to show that on the back. Like, I'm not really that thrilled about this piece, but that'll blend in. I might just cheat and go through the bead. You can do that to get where I want to go. Let's see if I can find the end. There we go. You might have to dig the end out with your chain nose pliers, right? So the moral of the story here is, you guys, is that you're just going to get to where you get to intuitively. And if you have to go through a bead, go through a bead. Let me see here. Carefully go through a bead. This one's where you're gonna have to be like careful and keep that as a loop and not, because this is where you want to be a little more careful. Yeah, I've got a little bit of loop there. We're gonna pretend I don't have a loop there, and then we're just going to fill in with this. Let's see if we can fill in with this. That one's too big. We're going to fill in with these three, I think, and that is going to be, isn't that something? I think there's, yep, these three, and then we're going to have filled that whole wing. Oops, there goes the third one. Let's see how it works with two. Actually, that is not bad, but I have a little one I can fill in here. Kathy, I hope your important call is okay. So I'm just filling in with this tiny one. You can see how my fingers are black from working with the steel. Okay, so that's kind of what I want there. Just kind of like shoving them in there. And then I am going to, you kind of don't want to anchor backwards. You want to anchor toward the front, so it's got, you know, it's got the tension built in. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm just going to anchor where it's like you wouldn't put a clothesline behind the pole length, you know, the rope length. You would put it in front of it. Okay, so then you're just gonna, like, once you get this in here and you've kind of played with your different sizes and you're keeping your loops nice and pretty on the back too, I'm just going to kind of tie off, you know. And if you've got too many beads, you're just going to kind of shove them out from the back, and you're making dimension that way too. So, and you know, and you just want to like tie off when you're doing the tying off, just tie off, like do another couple loops and then just clip it short and then just burnish in those edges. Okay. But you can see, not too bad. This is the same wing up here, and I've done a lot more big ones than small ones. So you can see they both look nice. They both look nice, you know. Yeah. I tried to salt in, so in your kit, you want to stick to pretty much what I did, because I only gave you, like I said, a half a strand of these huge ones. These are the 8x10s, I think. So just know that, you know, we've got that. But I kind of like that. Let's see if we go up to here. We can switch back and forth to here. Still has that flash. I mean, these. So I want to show you too. So I got the gold. You guys, there's so many other colors in these, and there's opaques, but these are the iris, opaque iris. Here's the silver. So I got the whole range of the sizes. I think I got almost all of them. So this is the biggest one. This is the 8x10. These are the opaques. And this is how they came to me. I think I got like 3 cards with 2 strands each. This is probably like a wholesale header, you know, wholesale how they get them. Gorgeous. But there's purple, and there's orange, and there's yellow, and there's, you guys got to check out the link. I love it. I love it. All right. So I promised you I would show you how to put the pin back on. And it's basically just taking this, we're going to go back over to here. Oh, thanks, Janilda. And you should have off of that 40 inches some other wire. I'll probably throw like more like 50 in there just because I don't want to short you guys. But of this same 26 gauge glad tone, the gold tone. I'm funny to myself. You guys are probably tired of that joke. And I know this is my front. And so you kind of position it like how you want. I want the head up a little bit. And so I know I want the head up a little bit, like toward the 10 o'clock, you know, if you were looking at it as a clock face. And then I'm going to just take my pin back, which is back over here. And I want that up close, right? So you can kind of see how it goes. It's actually looping back toward the back. Like this is flat right here, which is really cool. So this is looping to the back, because if it was looping centered, it would create problems. Okay. So, and then there's these little holes in the middle there. Can you see that? And so you're just going to use that, and you're going to pick your place. I think I'm going to go. I might not even use those holes, depending. I think what I want to do is just kind of let go off my anchor here. This I probably would anchor you guys to the frame and not to the other like dropped pieces. But I'm just going to kind of just rough this in for you guys. Getting it through there. I'm like, am I getting it through the same place that it went? Yes. So I'm just roughing it, you know, because just want to make sure that it's kind of, the placement is right before I go and, you know, finish the anchoring. So let's see here. If I put it to that thing, I'm going to have an overlap. So what I want to do is I want to just go around the neck of the pin here. We're a little bit over. I generally try to like say only go to about 15 minutes, and this might be a little bit low for placement. You want your pin placement to be above the midline so that it's not flopping over. So right now I'm kind of like right at the midline. I'm just trying to anchor this guy. And you can do like each side, or you can try to kind of like go from I think it'll be a lot nicer if we just sort of like anchor each side. So you're just wiring it on, right? So I'm going to leave myself a little bit of a tail. And then you would just come to this side. This is actually kind of not a bad way to do this, is to go from kind of this crux right here between the upper wing and the tail, and this crux right here where the neck meets that lower wing. Okay, so then you're just going to, you know, basically take a stitch there and stitch it to the other side. So again, I'm not using these, let's see here. It's interesting, yeah. I open this up, I just want to show you. So I'm not using these holes at all, but I did do that for the textured one. So I would just take an anchor from here, this point, and bring it around the whole, you know, the whole mechanism right in here. Yeah, right in there. And then just make sure that's nice and secure. And then you're gonna, you know, just like make sure everything's really nice and tight, and hide your ends and burnish your ends in. And then you will be able to wear your beautiful brooch without the end sticking out. Okay. So Anne says she looked and she said the project's not on Etsy site, that she can see just the pattern. And that might be, I might have told Sarah not to do that because the free ones are available at John Bead. They're not up yet. So just check back tomorrow. I'm sure they'll be up by then. You know, there is a 3-hour time difference right now. So being 3, so it's 6:18 right there. And I think I just got it to them like, I don't know, 4 hours ago. So they might be busy with some other things rather than trying to load my patterns. Just thinking. So yeah, but do check out, let's go back to this, guys. Thanks so much for checking that, and I do appreciate it. But do go and this is the templates. This is again the Facebook page. Bead projects and PDFs from John Bead is the title. So you're just going to go into files, and they're all there. All my stuff's with Danielle Wicks, and we just have so much. I can't believe all the free content that's available for you. Mwah. And I'm so proud to be able to be a part of that with John B, just giving out so much cool stuff. So we just want to spread that jewelry love to you guys. So, alrighty. Again, you guys, don't forget, we're going to be going next Thursday with this cool stuff. What color should I use? Green, blue, or white, or should I use them all? This is pretty darn cool. And we'll have an extra broadcast, I promise you, when we go live with that. I will be advertising that on my Instagram and my Facebook pages and stuff like that, because we want to make sure that you are ready to bid for these things for the kids. So let me see here. You do like that, Kathy, right? Let's see here. So, excuse me, I guess I'm done talking pretty much for the day. So this is that. This is the month of challenging elements made super cool. Hopefully they'll be super cool. I'm putting it out there. I'm going to make it super cool. And this is the project that I want to, that I am saying to. And remember that olive branch piece, I'm going to put the link up for you to see where to go to for that. It was already done in a live video, so I didn't want to do that again. And just make sure that that you are crazy in tune to the Beads of Courage. It's all for the kids, you guys. We want to help them have as positive experience in the hospitals as possible. And I think you know that with each pinprick, blood draw procedure, night in the hospital, whatever it is, that the kids are, that they're really have this narrative to be able to talk about their life, their medical life, and it just really gives them so much joy to have a way to do that. So, all righty. You guys all say, Anne is saying too, have a beautiful weekend. You guys want to come over? I've got plenty of beach towels. We have a lap pool here. Might have to wear our masks. I know, Coral, right? It's so nice to see you. I've not seen your name before. So you guys know, I love you so much. Thank you for joining me today. We're going to have 4 more shows in April with these challenging things that I say, bring it on. And we indeed will bring it on. All right, guys. Mwah. Love you. Thanks for joining me today. And we will see you next week. Adios.